Hello everyone, B here. Now I have just finished making this block. This is block 2, month 2 of the block of the month by the National Museum of the American Indian. Now this one was designed by Sissy Soreo out of Hawaii. She said that the red and yellow are the royal colors. Mine is a little more pink and orangey, but I love these little seahorse guys. And she said that we can pick any colors we wanted, so I did go with that. Now this program is free. You can go to the website and download the templates and all of the directions. The one piece that I did need to print out looked like this. I just had to cut this out for that template, and it tells you exactly how to line this up. The directions were for doing a turn under applique, so you would literally turn it under as you went around it, and I instead cut it a little bit larger and then did the zigzag around the edges. But stay tuned and I'll show you just how I created this block. Okay, so we begin this block with folding our fabric, and the directions are quite specific. It's really easy to follow along. We're just going to fold up and we're going to give that a press. You do want to press in every stage because we want the lines so that we can follow along. And then we're going to fold over. Make sure, especially this edge is just right on it. This yellow is my background. I've already got the red one that I'm going to put on the top folded, and I have my template attached to it. So these folds are going to be my placement folds. And now when I unroll it, see, I have this nice, exactly where I need them to go. And my my red piece will literally just sit right where it needs to be, and it'll be very easy to follow along. Now I already pressed and folded the red that is going to go on top of this. This is our template piece. So this was the straight edge. This is the part that was down. The instructions are really well. It shows you have one fold here, you have 3 folds here, and so that is your straight edge. This is your bias. Now it suggested that we pin them in place to do this, but I'm using batiks. And once you put a hole in a batik, you just can never get it out. So if I did that, I would just have lots of little tiny holes all over my piece. So instead, I'm just going to slowly cut and then reclip as necessary to kind of keep that nice and clean. So once I get that all out, I'll be able to unfold it, check for placement. Now it does mention that you're going to cut the whole thing out and then go back and cut this piece right here. So I'm going to follow the directions and we'll see how this turns out. All right, so I've cut out my red piece. Now the pattern did say that the red and yellow were the royal colors of Hawaii. So that's why the block that she did was done in those colors. And, you know, she invited anyone to do their colors they wanted to. I actually found this really neat piece that it's kind of like pinks and oranges, and it actually has some seahorses on it, of all things. But so I cut it out per her directions. Now I was looking over the pattern as I was cutting, and she says that they're doing the 1/8 inch turn under applique. Let's take a couple of these off. It did work really well to hold that in place without pinning. Let's see if we can put that one back on. So it did work really well. I don't have any extra holes, just took my time. But because I'm not doing that 1/8 of an inch turn under, sorry, I'm not sure if I'm going to need to actually take a little bit off all the way around in order to get that gap for that design. So I guess we'll find out together. Kind of gently pull that apart. Ooh, pretty. Okay, yeah, I'm going to actually cut that just a little bit bigger. I'm going to cut out a little bit of piece so that we actually have, you know, a gap there. If we were going to do the 1/8 of an inch turn under applique, it would give us that gap. But because I'm going to just put mine down and zigzag around the whole thing, I would lose all of that. So I'm going to cut that out just a little bit. But as you can see, this is just going to lay, and I can follow all of those lines. Now, I'm not really sure. I'm actually going to have to make this whole thing smaller because I cut this at 11. This is a 10-inch finished block. So this also, she was allowing for quite a bit of this to disappear also with that applique. So I'm going to fold it back up and recut the entire thing just a hair smaller so that it will fit. It's got to get, I need to lose like probably a full inch overall. So that was my lesson for the day. So I just showed that I cut this out. It was a little too big, but then I realized it was supposed to be sitting like this. So it was the right size. But I did go in and trim a little bit off since I am not doing the turn under. So it's supposed to sit like this. I tried to put it like this and no wonder it was too big. So just like this. Now remember the folds will all go right in here, and actually mine are kind of upside down, so I'm just going to flip this over. It's the loveliness of being a batik. Everything is so nice and reversible. So this guy's got to go here, I guess. But all of these points then will line up right on those folds. And I know right where it needs to be. And I have all those nice gaps and my nice symmetrical design. So there it is. This will be what mine looks like. So yeah, I did go with this nice, I know it's like a pink, orange, yellow kind of thing, but it does have these gold embossed seahorses. I think that'll be a little bit fun. So what I'm going to do next actually is affix this to the yellow. I'm not going to pin, so we'll move over to my other table. All right, so I'm going to turn this applique piece into basically an iron-on, but I don't even have to iron on, using this temporary adhesive for fabrics. It just makes it tacky. You can push it right on. It's the OTIF 505. Makes it tacky. You push it right on. If you want to completely remove this, you do need to dry clean it. But this, I can put it on that yellow. I can take it back off and reposition. But once it's on the red here, it is on for good. So you just, doesn't take a lot. You just really want to make sure you get those little, the points. And I use up just leftover the end bits of wrapping paper to keep my table clean. So that's it. There's not even any waiting time on this. So I'm just going to peel this guy up real carefully. This is some seriously sticky stuff. All right, pull them off to the side. Then we have our background. Now, this just becomes now kind of a puzzle. Putting it, you don't want to put any, weight on it. Looks like I picked up a dog hair there. Oh, no, just a wrinkle. All right, I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm going to get those points right where they need to go. Now, I did cut the yellow a 1/2 inch bigger, so the square is supposed to be trimmed to 10.5. I cut it at 11. So if I don't get this perfectly centered, I do have some wiggle room. And see, I'm just going to smooth that into place. Kind of put the point right on that fold. And then convince everything into place. Now the reason I did the spray on instead of doing a Wonder Under over the entire piece is because that Wonder Under paper would have been just another layer in that little folded sandwich we did. And I thought that that would really interfere with the accuracy of my cuts. There we go. So there it is. So there is the block. Nice one piece. I love these blocks from Hawaii. I've done a few other little wall hangings with them. This one is just the colors that I went with are really vibrant. I do like the one that the example did on the website, where it's just that solid yellow and the solid red. So now I'm going to find a thread that I like to match with that, and I'm just going to zigzag around all those edges and hold it down. Now, it did give directions specifically for a quilting pattern, but I'm going to do all my quilting at the end, so I'm going to hold off on that. So we're just going to zigzag around it, and then this block will be finished. Okay, so I've been working on connecting the two fabrics together so that they are good to go. Now, normally on something this size, I would do a blanket stitch around all these edges, but because of the buffalo one where I did the zigzag, I thought I would keep that continuity. So this one is, I'm also doing this little zigzag. It's not perfect. My little corners are pretty nice though. The points are nice. So I'm really happy with it. I just have this much left to go, and then this block will be finished. But yeah, just chug along. It's kind of a slog to get through. It's a real big piece, but you can do it. Okay, so I have completely zigzagged around all the edge of this, a nice satin stitch. Really proud of this one. When you can turn it over and the back looks as nice as the front, you know you did a good job. So I'm really happy with how this one turned out. I ironed it, it's nice and flat. Now all I need to do is square it up to a 10.5. And that I'm just going to put those, I have these nice points now that the quilt gave me, and I'm going to put those at 5.25. And that's going to give me a nice 10.5-inch block that I can go right off of those points. So it'll be nice and centered. Make sure I got that 5.5, 5.25, 5.25, 5.25. Glad we didn't go any smaller. I'm not really taking off very much. And then we turn this way. And we put this at the 10.5. Yeah, that really kind of took up some fabric doing that. So when it says to cut it, you know, a 1/2 inch larger, the 11 for a 10.5-inch block, I like to go a little bit larger, and I would have gone a little bit bigger with this one, but the yellow piece that I was working with was only that big, so I was stuck with only going with 11. But it did work out, so there is the block for month 2, and we are good to go. We're ready for the third one to come out in a couple weeks. Thanks.